Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good Times with Scar here, and welcome to the Good Times with Scar texture pack download video and showcase. I am so excited to finally bring the Good Times with Scar texture pack to you guys, and especially for Christmas as a big thank you for all the incredible support you have given me throughout the years. And yeah, this is my texture pack. It's just some vanilla tweaks to make the vanilla textures just a little more appealing. Some textures I just don't like, so kind of change it up a little bit, but keeping it very vanilla. So when you watch my videos, you recognize the blocks. They're just slightly tweaked a little bit. It's more of a smoothing over, if you will. A lot of the blocks have just kind of smoothed out, a little cleaner, a little nicer, different hues of colors. And it's nothing too crazy. It's just a simple little texture pack I use to make my videos just a little bit more unique. And I'm so glad you guys have liked it, and the interest in it has been incredible to get it out to you guys. So I've got it all set up. So let's go and kind of take a look at some of my builds and how I've incorporated the texture pack into the builds. Since we're already here at the Scarred Ranch house building project, let's start with the path block. Very simple little change. As you can see, I wanted to create a custom biome that had these path blocks acting as a golden field. So I just wanted to make the little transition a little less harsh and just smoothed it out. Just simple little thing, and I think that made that whole area look a lot better. And this is the texture that started the entire pack, the glass texture. It's changed a couple times through different versions, but the original reason this entire texture pack was created was for this project, which is the Scarland Mother Tree Farm. As you can see, this massive glass cube was created to house our tree farm in Scarland. And I just did not like the standard Minecraft glass texture. I thought it would look just horrendous for this project we created way back in 2012. So I think it came out really nice. I think all the little details here, now I'd probably maybe make this in ice. I think I might do ice if I were to redo this. But when we built this, there was no silk touch and there was no option of really doing this in ice. But yeah, this is the texture that actually created the entire texture pack, which of course is this beautiful glass texture. Very clean, very minimalist. And welcome to the Scarland Greenhouse Complex, built way back in 2011. So our first texture here that I want to show you guys is the Minecraft pumpkin. Now, I just feel like pumpkins shouldn't be pre-carved as they're growing. So I have removed the face on them so that when the pumpkin is growing and it has no face. So if you're using it as a decorational block, as a kind of a vegetable garden of some kind, you don't have these faces on them that kind of throw you off a little bit. So that is the reason there are no faces on growing pumpkins. But once you put a torch in it, of course, it goes back to default and it has the face, which is cool. I just feel like growing pumpkins shouldn't have faces. And our next texture comes from the wheat fields here in our greenhouse. Now, these fields, I feel like, look so much more realistic, way cleaner and nicer designed. Having a little bit of orange mixed in, they're also a little bit easier to identify which one has been harvestable, which one isn't. And I think this is especially useful, at least when starting out in a new world or something along those lines. I really like having the change in this texture, and I feel like it just feels a little bit more natural, a little nicer looking at a nice golden field versus kind of a little brownish yellow. I think that looks pretty cool. Now this change is very subtle, but as you can see, the sand has been slightly yellowed kind of over time. I've taken it out of kind of a bleached kind of a whitish to a little bit more yellowish orange. It's a very subtle change, but when you see the differences between them, they are quite substantial. And I think it's just one of those very small tweaks that I really like. And welcome to the Scarland Fishing Cabin. This is one of my all-time favorite builds. It was designed to look like kind of a modern mountain style cabin. So we tried some different designs here, and one of my favorite was to mix up the ice texture and add a little bit more light blue color to it. And I think it looks really nice. I didn't really care for the purple tones to it. Let's kind of turn around here and we'll look this way. As you can see, there's some scaffolding over there, so excuse that. The upper side of the waterfall is still not complete, and it's been like 2 years. So as you can see, this little section here is just solid glass going up. We built this back in 2014 too, and I think it came out really nice. And there's also one other small change over here. There it is. I was looking for my flowers. These, of course, are the tulips. And if you look at the default tulip, it's very short. The flower's not as bushy as this. I just wanted to increase the height, so when you put it in a flower pot or something like that, it's substantial. It's got a little bit of like heft to it, if you will. And I think they look very, very, very nice. It just got a lot more to them. That's what I've done to a couple other textures. It just expanded them, and like the mushrooms and stuff like that. Just expanded them out a little bit. They were just small and dinky and boring. All right, so that's it for Scarland. Let's go and take some look at some other textures. Welcome to the Hermitcraft server and my most recent build just complete on a live stream for our Christmas celebration. As you can see, this is my snow texture. Very clean and very soft. I just wanted to smooth out all of the edges, and that's a theme throughout the entire texture package, just smoothed off edges. I think this just makes the snow just feel so much nicer, and then blending it in with our ice, as you can see from the fishing cabin, just everything just looks really, really clean and very, very nice. One other thing up at the actual cabin up here you can notice is this, once again, is a good representation of my colored glass. As you can see, very, very clean. None of those little dots on the glass. I think that looks really, really nice. I've tried to remove the ones on the ice, but I don't know how to do it. Maybe you guys could help me with that. But yeah, I think that came out really nice, and the snow just feels a little bit more fluffy, a little bit more like it needs to be all bound up into a snowball and tossed at your buddy. So I think this came out really, really nice. And welcome to the Scar's Frontier Outpost train station. And I feel like this is a great build to demonstrate the smoothed woods. So let's take a look at this. What I've done to all of the woods is to take out any of the knots, any of the little like, the little like circle-y things inside of them. And as you can see, look at how clean the woods look. Very, very, very beautiful. You can see on the train itself, all the little different pieces, even the fence posts and the gates and all those wonderful things are just smoothed out. As you can see on the train cars and all of those things, it just looks nicer, more appealing, less clutter within the texture. And I think that's a problem with all the textures in Minecraft default, is they're a little too cluttered. Now, like I said before, I want this texture pack to be very similar to default, but also kind of just look a little bit cleaner, a little less cluttered. And I think this is one of my favorite changes within the pack. And this is the Nether brick. As you can see, it is slightly darkened. Now there's a lot of beautiful textures out there that make it pure black, but once again, I want to contain that vanilla still in the block. So as you can see, I just darkened it ever so slightly, and it still has those purple tones to it. And I still think it serves its purpose of creating a darker block that's usable because of the half slabs and stairs, but also still retaining that vanilla nature to it. So there's still the purple, but just slightly darker. I think that really serves our train very well. Making a quick stop here at the Skyrim Village. Anybody remember the Skyrim Village? Let me know in the comments, of course. And look at this. This is our wheat block. As you can see, it's been smoothed out. I've added these beautiful little bands around it, and I think that looks really nice. And it fits more with the original block. As you can see the darker nature, I feel fits a little bit better with that. Now, the other change, of course, is the carrot. As you can see, look at the carrots. They have way more substantial nature to them. They're a little bit thicker, a little nicer, and they really stand out as the carrot block. And of course, the potatoes right next to it, looking very, very beautiful, very substantial. And that's, like I said before, it's one of the reasons I just wanted to thicken things up, make it a little bit bigger. The original versions barely look like carrots or potatoes. I think this really like identifies it as that's a carrot and that is a potato. And welcome to Scar World. And we're here with all of my modern houses looking absolutely beautiful. But let's head inside and look at one of my favorite blocks in the texture pack, and that is the smoothed wool. Now, you might not always just pick up on this right away, but as you can see, the wool is incredibly clean and smooth, and I wish this was default in Minecraft. It makes it far more usable, especially in modern builds. As you can see, here are some rugs in our first ever modern house. And then in the corner here, you can see just a couple more rugs in this corner and the beautiful glass. Now let's look at my other modern house. I think this house is a great representation of how to make better glass. I think with this entire pack, I think my glass and I think my wool should be default in Minecraft. They just look clean, they look nice, and they're suitable for all sorts of different applications. But let's head inside. And as you can see, there is some of our beautiful carpet on the outside. And look at this. You can't make little chandeliers like that with default because they just don't look good with the extra lines and dots in them. And of course, here is some beautiful carpet pieces and you can really run the carpet all around without having it just look so cluttered and messy. Also, the snow can make a great, flooring for, say, a kitchen or a bathroom because of the smoothed out nature, but using that standard snow in a modern house, it doesn't look that great, but just that little change right there makes it far more usable for your different builds. And welcome to the Scar Architecture world, and we're taking a look at my current favorite texture within the pack. This is the stone smooth slab. And as you can see, this is about as far from vanilla as I'm gonna take the pack. I removed all the bands around the edges so it smooths it out. And look at the versatility of the block where we can create an entire block worth of it and then add a slab to it. And there's just a seamless nature through it out. And I think it's absolutely amazing. And I wish, once again, this was the default texture. It is so versatile in what we can achieve with it that makes it such an amazing block. And as you can see, the smooth stone, sandstone down there. Also, I took out the bottom level of sandstone, so it's smooth on the bottom. It's not that really ugly, rough stuff. And I think that looks nicer. And then, of course, there's our beautiful counters with the carpet above it. And turning around, here's some honorable mentions within the texture pack. A big thank you to Taylor HD, Twitch Mod, big help in helping me fix the end rod. I'm not even going to talk about the end rod was causing nothing but trouble, but it's finally in the pack. It's been taken out of its purple, tones, and it's looking good. And a big thank you to Taylor. Nothing but trouble. Anyway, as you can see, the bed was actually the first texture I ever changed along with the door. That was how I kind of learned how to do it. The door is a representation of my real life door, and my bed is orange, and well, I had to make an orange bed. And there we go. So that is the Good Times with Scar texture pack. The link is in the description. I hope you enjoy it. Definitely take a picture of some of your builds with this texture pack on. I'd love to take a look at it. The link is always in the description for Twitter. And thank you so much for all of the support. A big Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the next episode.